Thanks, Andy, but before we check the action, let's check the tracks. We start in Birmingham, move on to Norton Keynes, Milton Keynes, then 2 rounds at Nottingham, before we finish on Ponting's track in Morecambe. And the riders will be competing a series of motos and mains to score these points. The 3 mains will total 15 points for first, 12 points for second, and 10 points for third place, running down to 5 points for 8th place. Competing today, we have City Salisbury, very classy rider, but I don't think he's got the power to stop a man like Tim Marsh, who's been 3 times a #1 British plate holder. Jamie Vince has been practicing hard in the States during the winter, and that will certainly have helped him. Mark White has also been around a long time in BMX, and he makes parts for bicycles. Tony Slater's come up from the southeast. He's been a #1 plate holder, European champion in '82. Trevor Robinson, who rides for Halfords, has had a #2 plate in his time. The man who's had #3 plate is Pete Middleton, a very strong, hard rider indeed. Neil Trevor is one of those dark horses. He's just joined the pro ranks and may have difficulty making the final 8. John Higginson, also a very crafty rider, has a shop up at Morecambe. Alan Woods has been in the BMX business a long time. He started way back in 1980. John Lee's been around a long time too, switched from rally to Torquay this year. And guest shooter was the MBMXA British champion last year, and the pros have got to watch out for him. And also this man too, Anthony Sewell, twice a #1 plate holder, pro champion in America. And here Andy Ruffles got a few scores to settle this year. He's dropped to #2 last year behind Tim Marsh and will be out to try and win this series. Scott Williams, another British champion, who's come up into the pro ranks this year to challenge for the cash. And Richard Thorner, another man who will be trying hard to make the final 8. Jamie Vince, Scott Williams, Alan Woods, Tony Slater and Tim Marsh in the first moto, with Tim Marsh on the right-hand side of the gate. Extreme left of the gate is Scott Williams, and these two are going to put the sandwich as they dive down that sharp left-hand up. Oh, and he lost control completely of his bike there. Tony Slater flew through the air, came down sideways, and it looks like Tim Marsh has also fallen in that accident. There are only 3 left at the moment, and it's Jamie Vince sweeping round there. Got a sizable lead at the moment. Alan Woods in 2nd place, Scott Williams is 3rd. He's got plenty of time now. He's looked over his shoulder quickly. You can see that gap, and there are only 3 of them in it. They're going to collect 1 point for first, 2 for second, 3 for third, and so on. And it's the chap with the minimum points that goes through into the semi-final. Looking there, he knows he's got it. So that's Jamie Vince in 1st place. And nobody else in sight. Oh, there's Tony Slater. Now that looks like a stretcher case. He hasn't got up, and the first 8 people are with him. And that's the result then. 1st Jamie Vince, 2nd Alan Woods, 3rd Scott Williams, 4th up on the start line for Group B. We have Trevor Robinson, Andy Ruffle, Mark Salisbury, John Lee and John Higginson. And it's Andy on the right-hand side there, flexing his arms and getting himself warm, and big Trevor Robinson alongside him. Over on the extreme left is the SE Racing City Salisbury then. And left at the start, that's John Higginson. He's way back in 5th place, and up at the front, it's Andy Ruffle powering away, hotly pursued by Trevor Robinson, turning around that sharp bend. Up on the lip it goes, oh, that looked to me as if John Higginson's gone completely out of sight now. He nearly disappeared off the track, and the man at the front now is setting a very hot pace. That's Andy Ruffle, putting a foot out, dabbing down, coming the finishing straight, over the last speed bump. Big Trevor Robinson's behind him, but Andy was unchallenged. And there comes the official results with 1st place, Andy Ruffle. Trevor Robinson was in 2nd place, John Lee took 3rd. Mark Salisbury just managed to get home in 4th place, with the poor John Higginson 5th. We're now moving on to Group C, guest shooter. Neil Trevor, Mark White, Pete Middleton, Richard Thorner and Anthony Sewell. That's Pete Middleton on the right-hand side, Mark White on the left. Richard Thorner in the CW colours of red and yellow, and alongside him, guest shooter. And these two on the extreme left, we have Anthony Sewell, and alongside him, the man who's a bit of a dark horse in this one, Neil Trevor, taking to pro racing this season for the first time. What's he going to do as they come off the line? Into that sharp left hand, and Sewell from the far side has made a very good start indeed, but Middleton's headed him. So these two lying 1st and 2nd, Middleton in front, hotly pursued by Anthony Sewell. In 3rd place is Mark White. The rest of the pack are nowhere, leaving these two going over those double jumps together, almost side by side. But Middleton saw the chance there to keep Sewell in his wheel tracks. He's still leading now, but no, Sewell's come up on the inside. Sewell's putting the power down. They hit that last speed jump there, shoulder to shoulder, side by side. It's Sewell on the line. He just managed to get half a bike length clear of Pete Middleton. They really had a go, those two. So, the official result then, in first place, Anthony Sewell by half a wheel from Pete Middleton, Richard Thorner third, Mark White fourth, Guest Shooter fifth, Neil Trevor sixth.
Tony, well, you're out of it with an accident. Perhaps you'd like to tell us a little bit about it.
Well, I felt, in the first motor, I felt pretty confident on the start. I was in gate 2, Tim was in gate 1. I snapped out gate 2, which I got in front of Tim. As I come into the turn, we sort of knocked a little bit and put me off balance. And I landed into Jamie Vince, and I sort of fell back and landed on my back, and I've done my spine in, you know?
The spinal injury, is that
serious?
serious?
It's like coccyx, is it?
Coccyx, yeah.
Yeah, and the bottom. It's in pretty bad pain, so I thought I'd better not ride. You know?
How do you feel then? Will you be fit for the next round?
Yeah, I'll be fit for the next round, definitely.
Yeah, so it's not that serious, just ruling you out of today?
Nah, it should be okay. It's only bruised, I think, but I'm going to have it checked out.
Following the first 3 sets of motos, we move on to the riders who fought their way into semi-final. Pete Middleton, Trevor Robinson, John Lee, Alan Woods, Anthony Sewell and Andy Ruffle. In the first to second semi is Jamie Vince, Mark Salisbury, Scott Williams, Tim Marsh, Guest Shooter and Richard Thorner. Of the 6 on the gate now and the 6 to follow, only 4 from each of the semi-finals will go through into the final. On the extreme left there is the number 4, Alan Woods, rides for the Talker squad, and his teammate on the far right-hand side is John Lee. Bit of a sandwich for these two, and it's Ruffle that's gone to the lead, though. That man really comes off the gate quick, and he's got Sewell for company. Well, they've been batting it out in the motos, and now batting out the semis. But what we're looking for is the 2 Tail and Charlies, because they're the ones that are going to get the chop. Only 4 go through, and John Lee's recognised the danger and trying to come up and get in alongside there, and he's dropped back a bit, while these 2 at the front have opened up an enormous gap, having their own little private dives, and the battle at the back is to see who's going to get chopped out. Ruffle, psychologically though, takes first place. He'll be pleased with that one. Well, let's see who got the chop, because it's the last 2 out that go back for an early bath. Oh dear, it's John Lee, Alan Woods. These are the 6 riders with, as before, 2 of them will be in 5th and 6th place and eliminated, only 4 going through into the final. On the extreme right of the gate, that's Scott Williams. There's the red line rider, Guest Shooter, with City Salisbury alongside him. Quite a few gaps here on the gate. They don't quite make up their mind where they want to be. There's a chap in the yellow jersey, Jamie Vince, who scored 3 successes in his motos, and he's got Tim Marsh alongside. Now they come off the gate then. Who's going to get the whole shot this time? On the inside, looks like Williams has made a good start, and Marsh is coming after him too, and Shooter's dropping into 2nd place. Clearing that first jump, it's Shooter that's grabbed the lead though. They're pumping around the pedal and rocking the bike. Shooter dabs the foot down. He's got to stay there. Oh, looks like City Salisbury's gone off into the woods. All the crowd looked around, he disappeared over his shortcut. That's taken him out the race, but the man has opened up an enormous gap. It's that fellow Guest Shooter. That's a turn up for the books then, because Tim Marsh is unusually in 2nd place. Jamie Vince is in 3rd. Well, that's a good one for Guest Shooter. That'll do his confidence a world of good then. Those 4 riders who've gone through, we'll have to check to see who got chopped out. It was Mark Salisbury who went into the woods. He was eliminated together with Scott Williams. And so this is the biggie. There's £1,000 at stake as they line up for the mains. Andy Ruffle, Anthony Sewell, Pete Middleton, Trevor Robinson, Guest Shooter, Tim Marsh, Jamie Vince and Richard Thorner. They're going to run 3 times down this track with points from 15 for 1st to 5 for 8th position. This is a psychological moment when they really get themselves geared up and wound up to come out that gate, because it's so important to grab that whole shot and those maximum points. Race 1 underway. On the right-hand side, it's Andy Ruffle, but Anthony Sewell's come up alongside him. Can Sewell get past? Tim Marsh waiting for these 2 to blow and get through the gap, but he can't make it because Ruffle's shot away into a fantastic lead, riding up on the top of that berm and clearing those double whoops in fine style. Anthony Sewell now has got to get at it very, very hard indeed and put the power on the pedals. Oh, he kept pedaling there, did Andy. Yes, he's still there. He's still upright. He was pedaling away. I thought he'd lost it for a minute, but he's managed to go over the line in 1st place. He looked back to find Sewell behind him. That was an anxious moment for him, but he's taken 15 points for 1st. And in 2nd place, Anthony Sewell. 3rd, Jamie Vince. 4th, Tim Marsh. 5th, Peter Middleton. 6th, Trevor Robinson. 7th, Guest Shooter. And 8th was Richard Thorner. And time for Matthew Clark to have a word with the winner, Andy Ruffle.
Andy, absolutely exceptional race. Brilliant piece of riding. Well done.
Not bad. Yeah, I was quite pleased with that. I had a reasonable gate position, so it's pretty good. I'm well pleased.
OK, that's great. Would you like to take us through the race itself now?
Yeah, sure. Well, as you can see, I had gate 1. I had a bit of a bad gate, but luckily, because I was on the inside, I could scoot round. I tried to get past Anthony Sewell. I had a better line of
first round of the finals.
Right.
What are your tactics going to be for the next round?
Well, the tactic in the next two is to just, if I'm in the first three, to just try and stay there. And then hopefully I can come with the overall win.
In the second of the finals, it's Andy Ruffle over there in gate number 7, whilst on gate number 1, it's Anthony Sewell for the Birmingham Wheels squad. There's Big Trevor Robinson, Mr. Muscles himself, on gate number 4. And on extreme left, Jamie Vince adjusts his helmet. They're all ready now for that gate to go. And Les Slater sends him on the way, and off that gate now. Trevor Robinson slipped a pedal. He didn't make a good start at all. As Anthony Sewell dabs down a foot, and those feet flying all over the place in this one. They've kept these chaps down this hill so quickly they can hardly keep upright. And looks like Tim Marsh has stolen the lead, with Sewell in second place, Robinson in third, and Anthony's back in fourth or fifth place. And his way out of it this time. Oh, he's trying for a double, but he isn't going to do it because he'll never get through this traffic jam in front. It's Sewell surging for the line, with Marsh alongside... yes, it was Trevor Robinson, I think, who got him on the line there. And I think Middleton came off his bike in that crash. Yes, he did finish 8th, the winner being Anthony Sewell, Trevor Robinson 2nd, Tim Marsh, Andy Ruffle, guest shooter Jamie Vince and Richard Thorner in that order.
Anthony, congratulations. A brilliant race. It's probably the best race we've seen here today. Thrilling all the way to the end.
It was tough.
Again, you're first in the competition at the moment. You've won. You come first in one and second in your other finals. There's one left. How do you feel about your chances?
It's going to be just as much pressure as that first main event. Just got to be consistent. I'm a little bit on the outside on this gate, but I'm not going to worry about that. Think about coming out clean and putting the power on as fast as I can, accelerating. The race isn't over yet. It's still very close.
Could you talk us through that last race then?
Coming out the gate, I came out, I was a little bit on a wheelie. Had an advantage being on the inside. But Tim, he was right, like a gate position right over me. And I could feel him on the outside of me all the way around the corner. And when I came out of the first turn, I slid out, so I lost ground. So I knew there was going to be some extra pressure from him coming on the inside. So I just assumed not dice him into the next corner, but set him up so I'd stay right in striking distance on his back wheel. And luckily it worked out for me because I got him in the next corner. That was the second to last corner. And that gave me enough position to hold on to it to the last corner and pedal out and go for the win. Got one more. So the work's not over yet. No.
How will your tactics differ then for this next race? Are you going to go for it, or are you going to be...
The only way to do is go for it. Can't be. If you think about it, usually when you think, it's already too late.
See, so from the whole shot all the way in?
Got to. If not, I just got to think about placing well and staying up in the top 5, at least 4. Depending up, but I can't guarantee on that. So I just want to be in the top 3.
Well, there's great excitement amongst this crowd because there's a lot at stake. Remember, £1,000 at the end of this third of the finals. A bit of a course inspection going on from Craig Schofield, one of Andy Ruffle's teammates. There's Andy, second from right on the gate. Alongside him, guest shooter on gate number 3 in the white strip with the red line on. There's Les Slater. And there's a gap in front of Les because Pete Middleton is not starting. The Mongoose rider smashed his wrist in that second of the finals and can't start. The extreme left-hand side of the gate is Tim Marsh. Will he get the whole shot? He's got a long way to go. Off the gate they come, and it's Marsh on the far side. And on the inside, it's Ruff that's taken the lead, though. Andy Ruffle's ahead. Andy Ruffle's opened up a good lead, and Tim Marsh seems to take a shortcut across the top of that berm. And they're shoulder to shoulder now, battling up. Who wants to get these maximum points? Up on top of the berm, it's Shooter that's gone down. And looks like Marsh rode over the top of guest Shooter. Shooter's thrown his bike away. He's disgusted with that. But Ruffle's got an enormous lead now. He took the opportunity of keeping pedalling, and he's left the rest for dead in that turmoil. He takes an easy win. Well, he kept out of trouble. He rode superbly, did Andy Ruffle, to take 15 points. A lot of time now for the judges to work out the scores because, remember, Andy was 4th in the last one, won the first one, and Anthony Sewell has been 2nd again behind him. That will take a bit of calculating who's going to take the maximum cash. So, Andy Ruffle won that one, followed by Anthony Sewell, Jamie Vince, Trevor Robinson, Tim Marsh, guest shooter, Richard Thorner and Pete Middleton.
Andy, perhaps you would like to take us through the race, seeing as though you won it?
Sure, yeah, no problem. Well, I had gate 2. I had a pretty reasonable gate, actually I had a good gate over the first jump. Then round the turn, I was clear. I mean, I didn't have any problems, so I just gassed it. And then I gather something happened behind me. I don't know what, and then, yeah, guest shooter went down there. Tim and everybody's walking and running. So I just kept on the gas and got it.
Anthony, did you know anything about the accident itself?
Yes, I was behind it at the time. Coming out of the gate, I clipped it, so I didn't get a great start. So I began trying to set up to move up into position, at least in the top 4, top 3. That's what I would need in order to be in contention for the top 3 money prizes. I was coming down. I think I was in like 4th position, maybe 5th, and I was in 4th. And the accident happened between number 2 and 3 position. And I pretty much had to tiptoe through around that, and I barely made it, riding on a tight rope on the top of the berm. And the only thing I could see is daylight. And
now he's won the money.
Well, if you two would like to shake on it.
Yeah, no problem.
And the best of luck in the next rounds to both of you.
Thank you very much.
Well, in the end, it was a dead heat with Andy and Anthony splitting the £525 for first and second place, Trevor Robinson taking third and £125.